In the next 90 minutes, you're going to get access to one of the most powerful and exciting trainings that I have ever released. And I'm super excited that you're going to get to watch this. This is something that we run live. This is a recording of the live workshop, but there's a ton of information and value in here. So if you are not in front of a computer or at least getting a pen and paper in front of you, make sure you go and grab a pen and paper because there is a lot of notes to take. And I can't wait to see your reaction and the value that you're going to receive inside this workshop. There's also some Q&A live on this workshop to get to hear some really cool questions. So make sure you watch to the end to hear those Q&A questions. If you get value from this video as well, let me know in the comments down below. But let's jump into it. So today's the retainer transition workshop, right? And this is a 90-minute workshop. We've got a lot to cover today. And I wish we could cover heaps of stuff that I want to teach. I was jamming the last couple of weeks building this presentation for you guys to give you guys an insight of how to actually transition to a retainer model, right? And today I want to talk about what we're going to be covering in the workshop. The first thing we're going to be going through in this 90-minute workshop is we're going to go through niche mastery. So a lot of people struggle with picking the right market to actually sign up for retainer offers, which today I really want to talk about some of the key concepts that we look at when it comes to niching into a market or niching into an offering or niching into a retainer. The second thing is we're going to go through the retainer blueprint. So we're actually going to show you the blueprint that we would suggest if you are going to sign retainer clients. A lot of you guys maybe have retainers or looking at adding a retainer offer to your business model, which is super cool. That's the whole purpose of this workshop, is to give you the insights of what retainers look like and how to actually position yourself as a business that takes on retainer clients. The third thing is we're going to look at the 3 lead generation levers. So we're going to talk a little bit about paid ads, what makes paid ads work, but also about lead generation. Lead generation isn't just paid ads. It's also understanding a couple of key components. And in today's workshop, we're going to break down what those 3 things are. And then we're going to have a bit of Q&A. So today's workshop is fun. There is a workbook that we do have. German, if you could drop the workbook in the chat for everyone, that would be great. We have a workbook. We're going to be jamming out on my iPad today. So we're going to be going through and writing some stuff down. If you don't have time to print out the workbook, I totally understand. If you don't have an iPad like me, it might be a little bit hard, but grab a copy of the workbook. There should be a link in the chat. Just give us a thumbs up if that link is working for you guys. I want to make sure you guys all got the workbook because I know that sometimes the link doesn't work. The workbook is really for you guys to give you some structure. You can go after this workshop today and then jam out on the concepts we're going to teach you today. But let's jump straight into it because I think there's some really key component things that we need to talk about today. So I'm going to share my iPad screen. Everyone can see a triangle on their screen. Give me a quick thumbs up in the chat. Yep. Everyone can see the iPad, the triangle. Perfect. So today we're going to start off with talking about the video agency framework. So this is really an anchoring and talking about some of the levers that we need to pull within our business to start to scale, right? So the ultimate goal in the middle here is what we call scale. And a lot of you guys who are jumping on this here, I'd like to check in the chat, who's here looking to scale their business, right? I'd like you guys to type in the chat, just give me a yep, I'm looking to scale, I'm looking to grow the business, I'm looking for new ways to take the business next level. Yep. Infinite Productions, Andrew's on here, yep. Good to see you on, Andrew, dude. Jeffrey, William, Morgan's on here, good to see you, dude. Brayden, yep, cool. Alex is just starting business. Cool, dude. This is going to be a really cool workshop for you to really see what it looks like to scale. Because today we're going to talk a lot about scale. We're going to talk about retainers. We're going to talk about ads. A few things on here today. But in the middle here is when we talk about scale. What I've identified over the last 7 years when it comes to scaling a video production business is there's really 3 things that we need to get right in order to scale, right? And the first thing is how do we attract, right? And attract means how do we actually attract clients? And attracting clients isn't just from paid ads. Attracting is for a couple of key things, which is understanding your message, right? Which is the first thing, is getting the right message in place. The second thing is getting the right offer in place. And the third thing is the understanding what a funnel is, right? So these are 3 things when we look at attract that help us attract more clients into our business. Now, who here is on today's workshop wanting to know how to attract more clients to business? Type in the chat, would love to know. Are you wanting to hear it to learn how to attract more people to your business? More video deals, more retainers? Type in the chat. Daryl, sure. Dilly's, yes, please. Alex is, yep. Cool, we've got heaps of people, right? Some people on retainers, cool. Absolutely, yes. Yep, cool. Awesome, guys. Best way to get out of this workshop is also in the chat. I love you guys to really play full out today. If you've got questions throughout the chat, German's going to be watching the chat today to make sure we get any of your questions answered on today's workshop. So type in the chat, play out here. I love it that you guys are involved in here. If you've never been to a workshop with me before, I love it when you guys act and you actually put into the chat and play along here, because it really gets the most out of this. So attract is the first step, right? The second part is the convert, which is how do we convert leads? Now, who here struggles with sales? Let's be honest here. Who struggles with sales and converting leads? Type in the chat. I'm not going to shame anyone over here, but we all struggle in some points in our business. Yeah, Jonathan, me, Andrew, yep. Cool. So we all kind of struggle sometimes, and some of you guys not. Some of you guys are fine, and that's cool. And I love it that we've got a mix of people on today's workshop who struggle, sometimes really good. And today I really want to talk about how we can actually create offers or create a retainer offer that makes it really easy to sell. Sales can become really easy if you understand a couple of the key concepts we're going to talk about on today's workshop, right? So convert is that second part. So convert comes down to a couple of things. So we like to talk about ads here, right? And ads is actually how to get people to convert from ads. A lot of the time when I talk to our clients, when they first come to us, they'll rely a lot on referrals and word of mouth. Now type in the chat who here is relying a lot on referrals and word of mouth. I'd like to know who's in the chat, who's running ads as well. Let me know if you're running ads. I'd like to check in. So who's here relying on referrals and word of mouth? No ads yet for William. 99% referrals, never run ads. Cool. So we've got a lot of people here who are relying on referrals and some relying on ads. Cool. Cool. All right. Got a mixed lot here. This is awesome. When it comes to converting with ads, there's a couple of key concepts we're going to get right, especially when it comes to a retainer offer. And today I really want to dial in on those things, right? So ads is that second thing. First thing. The second thing here is a sales process. And the process for here is having an understanding of actually how to convert a lead in a predictable way. The third pillar, which is the last pillar here, is how do we retain? And excuse my spelling or writing here, it's terrible. Retain is the third pillar here. And one of the key things that a lot of you guys are probably on this workshop today is figuring out how can we get our clients to, number one, spend more money with us, but number two, stay longer with us on a retainer. Type in the chat here if you want more clients on retainer. Do you want clients to stay on retainer? Do you want people to consistently pay you on a month-to-month basis? Yeah. Andrews, yes, please. Neems, yes, please. Alex, yes. Cool. Cool. Awesome. There are lots of people here, right? And retainers is a really powerful business model. If we get it right, we can have consistent income in our business, right? A lot of you guys here want retainers. To get retainers, there's a couple of key concepts that we need to get right though. The first one is results for clients, which is understanding what result we get a client. The second thing is understanding that we need to have case studies and results to attract more people in business. So a big part of what we coach a lot of our clients on is not just selling videos for the sake of videos, is actually getting clients results from the marketing, from the content that you're creating, or whatever the offer is that you can position in your business for your clients is actually to get results. So part of retaining clients is actually having results that keeps them around, right? Which some of you guys may struggle with. And I want to talk a little bit about that today because there's some key concepts here that I think are really important. The second part of retaining clients is then team. Who here has a team? Would love to know in the chat, see where you guys are. Who has a team? Type in the chat. Small, but yes. Braden's got a team, yes. Cool. Cool. Wife and I for Jeffrey, yep. 2 people. Daniel's just me. Infinite Production is just me. Dan, no team, cool. So as we start to scale, we were just showing you the bird's eye view of this business model is there's a couple of things we've got to get in place first, right? And obviously today, we're not going to be able to cover everything on this diagram. I wish we could. We've only got 90 minutes here. A lot of these concepts take a couple of months to really build out. We're not going to be able to build your full team right today or suddenly change the results you're getting for your customers. But today, I want to give you some insights on these key areas because I think it's really important. If you're looking to go down this retainer model, we've got to get some key things right. So let's jump into the presentation again and let's talk about a case study. So Flynn here is one of our clients who came to us actually about a year ago, about last month. And Flynn was like many of you. He joined one of our workshops. He came and he saw some of our content online. He's, man, I'm interested. But before he started working with us, he had no retainer offer. He actually just quit his job, right? The crazy thing is he came to me and he said, dude, I'm literally quitting my job. He was working at another production company. He was a freelancer. He was starting from zero. So he really was starting from scratch. And this model we just showed you is one of the models that he installed, right? He was stressed out with understanding where his next client was coming from. He didn't know how to run ads. He didn't have consistent revenue in his business. And he really struggled with having those sleepless nights of not knowing if his business was going to survive. After 12 months, he now has a waiting list of people. He has people who want to work with him. He actually turned his ads off the other day, which I told him not to, but he turned them off. He turned them off because he's, man, I got way too many leads. I can't follow up all of them. I've got way too many clients right now. We've got a delivery issue, which is a great problem to have, by the way, guys, which is where he's starting to build his team. And he's scaled his business to a consistent 30K in monthly recurring revenue. That means every single month, without bringing a new client on, he has 30K of revenue coming to business. Revenue, not profit, right? So revenue is obviously what is helping him scale his business to be able to provide for his team. What this meant for him as well is also to have a studio space, which he's just recently moved into. And the reason I share this case study is because the first step that Flynn took was he booked in a call with us, right? He decided to say, hey, I want to learn how I can get retainers. I wanted to get some sort of ad system in place. And he took that first step. And for some of you guys right today, you're here. You want to learn how to sign retainers. You want to get clients on board, but you're struggling with understanding the key concepts of how to position a retainer, how to actually run ads effectively, how to get clients who pay you consistently, but also how to keep clients happy, right? So the problem that you guys probably have right now is you're probably throwing shit at the wall. And by the way, this image was created with ChatGPT. Pretty cool. Hey, type in the chat if you feel like sometimes you're throwing shit at the wall. Maybe you're trying a new marketing ad or new offer, or maybe you've bought an online course, right? Type in the chat who feels like they're throwing shit at the wall sometimes and just not sticking. It's not working, right? Type in the chat. Would love to know who feels like they're throwing shit at the wall sometimes. Yeah, Neem. Oh yeah, dude. Dave, absolutely no big shit thrower here lately, right? Alex, every time. Introductions, yes, sometimes no, right? So sometimes we feel like sometimes they work, but sometimes they don't, right? And I know that a lot of the time I can relate to this when I first started out my own production business, is trying to figure all this shit out, trying to figure out, do we run paid ads, SEO? Do we sell retainers? Do we do one-off projects? Do we do brand videos? All these different things. It feels like we're throwing shit, which can also be very overwhelming, which kind of leads me to the next thing, which is we struggle with an inconsistent income in our business, which is like a financial roller coaster. Who feels like they're on a roller coaster sometimes in their business with their income? Type in the chat. I would love to know. Who feels like they're on a roller coaster where sometimes we're having a good month, yeah, and then suddenly shit hits the fan or something happens and we have a shit month. Yeah, William can definitely relate. Jeffrey, yep. Alex, yep. Info production, yes. It's incredibly draining. Jacob, yeah. Sometimes it can really feel like that. And it sucks because when we first got into this creative video business or this video agency or whatever you guys want to call it, is we got it because we wanted to grow something and we wanted to be able maybe to provide for our family. But with the struggle of inconsistent income and being on this roller coaster, it sucks. All right. So a lot of you guys can type in the chat, screaming on the roller coaster for Neem. I love it, dude. Which kind of also leaves us feeling like we're stuck on a hamster wheel, where sometimes we just feel like we just keep repeating the same circle. We're just doing the day in, day out. Who else feels like they're stuck on a hamster wheel right now, where nothing is changing, nothing's growing, we're just having the same month after month, or could even be getting worse, right? Who feels like they're stuck on a hamster wheel? Type in the chat, would love to know. William, 100%. Focus, yeah, for sure. Cool. Got a few people feel like they're stuck in the hamster wheel. I love this image got created with ChatGPT. If you can see in the middle, the camera is like a thing that's holding him in the middle. Whoever's not using ChatGPT these days to create images like this, you're missing out. It's a lot of fun. So what this ends up leading us to is we have this fear of losing income. Clients and team members, it's like watching sand fall through our hands or fingers. We feel like a business sometimes can be falling apart or not growing, and it sucks. Not able to have consistent income or have consistent clients really sucks sometimes, especially when you are on that roller coaster and you're going down on the down months. Those down months sometimes can really hit and they really hurt, make you feel like you're give up. Why do I do this production business? Why did I even start this business? Why don't I get a job? And I know I can definitely relate to that in the past. When not having consistent income in your business, you sometimes feel like, man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, right? Who else feels like that sometimes? You feel like, not that you feel like giving up, but have you ever been in some moments in your business where you've gone for the roller coaster and maybe the dip has been way too much and you just feel that pressure? You're like, man, this is hard. Who can relate? Type in the chat. I'd love to know. Yeah, lots of people can relate. Jonathan, incredibly disheartening. Jacob, several times. I want to just check in with you guys here. As you guys can see in the chat, you're not alone, right? There is several people who've just typed in the chat who have these same struggles, fears, anxieties, and stresses in their business all the time. And I know how it feels, and I can see right now that you guys are not alone, right? This is why I want to say this is a safe space for a workshop here today. I want to jam out with you guys and have some fun. But we want to be open out here. We want to share how we feel and where we're going for our journey in our business, because we're all creatives. We're all in here. I remember I ran a mastermind last year with some of our high level clients, and actually in Brisbane. And one of our clients, Mr. Guillaume, said, dude, thank you so much for running this workshop. I don't feel like I'm alone. I don't feel like I'm here by myself. I've got a community of people, and this is what we are on this workshop. This is a community. You guys are playing full out, and I love it. You guys are here as a team. Let's ask a question. Out of all what I've just went through then, when it comes to the triangle, and we talk about attract, convert, and deliver, retain, what is the hardest part about scaling for you? I'd like you guys to type in the chat, what is the hardest part about scaling for you? For questions, by the way, guys, we're going to do a bit of Q&A at the end. German, if you can just take some notes, some of the questions that are coming up, we'll jam out on those questions towards the end. Appreciate your question, by the way, man. We've got Neem, messaging. Braden, attracting consistently. Dan, attracting. Great. Cool. Getting the first gig. Knowing what to do due to the ups and downs of income work. Attract for Alex. Aaron, attract and convert. Sean, getting good leads, getting meetings. Great. Dilly is generating new leads. The retainer clients have been great, luckily. Cool. So you got some retainer clients. Awesome to hear, man. Dave, consistently. Yeah. Cool. So we can see there's a few different reasons why you guys are on today, but I really want to ask one more question for you guys before we jump into the content of today's workshop and really get into some of the key strategies, which is going to be a lot of fun, by the way. And hopefully I keep on time. German, if I'm running over time, just let me know, because I know I sometimes can overshare. One last question for you guys. What is one thing you want to take away from today's workshop? I'd like to know. We want to make sure this workshop is tailored to you guys on today's call. And for you guys showing up live, this is freaking cool that you're here. You've taken time out of your day, and I want to make sure this workshop's worthwhile for you. So I want you guys to type in the chat. And we've currently got 57 people who are live here.
And sometimes it does look as though it's one-sided,
German, could you mute
but sometimes people
unmuted,
just
please?
need to.
So type in the chat. What is the number one thing you guys want out of this workshop? Type in the chat. Would love to know, because we want to make sure this workshop is jam-packed, okay? So Andrew is, who we got here? How to attract, Jonathan, how to attract new clients and what industries to niche into. Really good, man. Dude, we're going to have jam out on a few things around picking the right market today. Sean's like, a game plan. Cool, dude. We're going to give you a game plan. You're going to walk away with a game plan. We haven't gone through the game plan yet, but you're going to have one, and I freaking love it. It's going to be dope. Jeffrey, how to sell retainers to someone. Josh, consistent income, how to structure getting retainers that I can, cool. Braden's ad strategy, retainer offer ideas. These are coming in. Morgan, game plan to get clients and retainers. Andrew, focused niche retainers. Cool. Neem, how to propose the retainer offer. Cool. Awesome. So we've got a couple of different things here for you guys, Ron. So I want you guys to write that down for yourself and take that intention. And when we get to some Q&A, if you've got some Q&A questions, we're going to have time today to jam out on those things. You can type them in the chat. When we get to the Q&A section, you can jam out. We're going to make sure we cover those things as much as possible. We only have 90 minutes right now to cover. But we're going to cover as much as we possibly can. So let's talk about the opportunity. When we get this right today, guys, and when we're going to start jamming out on this, is we're going to have stable income in our business. There's no more dry months. When we can figure out this retainer model and start to have not only a lead generation system to attract retainers, but be able to keep clients on for 3, 6, or 12 month plus retainers, there's no more dry months. You don't have to keep chasing clients, right? We're able to build stronger relationships. We're able to have those clients who stay with us for years, not just months. We can be able to take clients who just invest in one video to stay with us longer and work with us. And the honest truth is, a lot of the time, the clients that we work with, we all know they need more than just one video to grow their business. So if we're able to position that in the right way, we're able to build stronger relationships with clients. I know I still have clients that are good friends of mine from retainer offers from my own video production businesses over the years, because I've built strong relationships, and that comes from having retainer offers. The third thing with this is we're able to focus on more of the creative work. Now, who here sometimes feel, and this is where I was doing a lot of research on before I put this presentation together, who here feels sometimes, though, if they do go down the retainer model, they won't be able to be creative? Does anyone feel like that? I want to check in just to check in before we jump into it. Does anyone feel they go down this retainer model, they're stuck doing this one specific niche, one specific market, one content offer, or whatever? Do you feel like you lose your creative? Is anyone on that line? Does anyone feel like that today? Just want to check in. Does anyone have that concern? Type in the chat. It's crossed my mind for sure. It's entered my business to keep my creative juice running. Yep, cool. So some of you guys do. So when we're able to have retainers, the opportunity is we're actually able to have consistent income. We can spend more time on the passion projects. This is the cool thing, is when we have our baseline of revenue sorted in our business, we're actually able to be more creative. This is where I want to disarm that belief, which is where people feel like they can't be creative if they pick a market or pick a niche, where actually it's the opposite. You actually get more creativity, which is super cool. Which also allows you freedom to do what you love. When you have consistent revenue and you have a business model that provides for you and your family, you're able to travel, you're able to take time off, you're able to not work 2 days of the week. One of my clients, Mr. Gim, messaged me a couple of days ago. He was like, dude, I'm taking Thursday and Friday off. And I was like, that's so cool. He doesn't need to go and bring more clients in. He's got enough leads, he's got enough clients, he's got enough retainers in his business that he can take the time off, which is really cool. So to ask you guys a question, what would the impact of having a consistent revenue on your business be? What would the impact would it be for you? I can say it's all great having recurring revenue, but what's the impact for you? If you really figure this model out and have retainers in your business and have this recurring revenue, what impact is that going to have? Type in the chat, would love to know. Jonathan's freedom from financial stress. Dude. Yeah. Josh, runaway, able to make more long-term decisions in business. Neem, vacation. Maybe you can come to Australia, Neem. Vacation over here, bro. Jeffrey, quit my current job. Love that, man. Yeah, definitely. If you have consistent revenue in business, you're able to quit your job. Infinite productions, emotional stability, freedom, and ability to scale. Yeah, Neem, you're coming. Dude, you should come to our Bali Mastermind, by the way, bro. Focus Studio, consistent cash flow and freedom. So we can see in the chat that we're having a lot of the similar things, which freedom, consistent cash flow, all these kinds of things, which I think is really, really cool, right? So I want to be straight with you guys. I want to address the elephant in the room. I want to address the unhidden agenda for today, right? Now, a lot of you guys have joined this workshop and you want to learn about retainer clients. And you probably think there's going to be some big pitch. There's a stack at the end. We got to buy this course in this program. The honest truth is there's not, right? There's not. Today, if you want to work with us and you got some key insights from today, German can drop a link in the chat for this, is you can book in a free call this, right? We'll take a current look at your current situation. We'll identify what's possible for your business in the next 90 days and uncover the number one bottleneck for your business. Now, obviously in this 90-minute workshop, I can't cover everything and I wish I could. It takes longer than that. It actually takes several months to fix a lot of the bottlenecks in your business. And if right now you're like some of the people that take action, maybe you're like Flynn, who took that first step. The first step was booking in a call with our team. The call is free. It's a 15-minute call. There's nothing to buy on the call. It's for us to understand if or not we can help you. And if we can't, we can point you in the right direction. That's the unhidden agenda today. If you want to book this in, click the link in the chat below. German's just dropped in the chat and you can book in a time with us today. If you're a fast action taker, you can book that in. We can talk about how we can help you and uncover those bottlenecks. If you don't want to book this call in, that is totally cool. If you're like the other people on this call today, you just want free information and content, that's great. We've got a ton of content we're covering today and super insightful. But that next step, if you do want to take that next step, is here. That's the unhidden agenda today. If you want to book in a call with our team, you can book that below, right? There's nothing to buy on that call. There's no pitch on this call to buy a course or a program. Today's content. So if you do want to work with us, there's a link in the chat right now. You can book in. And if you want to go for the rest of the workshop before you book in a time, that's totally cool. Let's jump in to the content because I think this is really cool that you guys are jamming out here. I'm going to switch to my iPad and hopefully my iPad is loaded. So we just talked about the attract, convert, and retain. Now, the first thing that I like to look at here is actually do a bit of a scan. I'd like to check in with you guys. Out of these pillars, how do we feel? Now, this is a interactive thing. I want you guys to type in some colors in the chat. How this works on the left here, we've got a traffic light system. We've got orange, red.
Sorry, some accessories didn't respond.
Oops, Siri's talking to me. We've got a red, we've got an orange, and then we've got a green. Now, we're going to go through these 3 pillars here and talk about how we feel about our business in these areas. So I want to make sure we tailor where your problems are so I can give you a bit of a plan today, because this will be the plan. This here is the map. We're going to give you the plan, and the plan is you're going to figure out what your 3 things are you've got to focus on for your business, right? So I'd like you guys to type in the chat. When we talk about attracting clients, I'd like you guys to give me a bit of a summary. How do you feel about attracting clients? Are you a red, orange, or green? Type in the chat. Josh is an orange, red. Got a few reds there. Alex is a red. Focus is a red. William, struggling with it. Okay. Got a yellow, orange is the same thing. Cool. German, what do you think? Just give me some feedback, German. What do you think out of all the numbers, colors we get typed in the chat? What do you think is the most consistent one coming up?
Definitely the reds.
Definitely the reds. Okay. Right. So red is definitely coming up. Okay. So we're a bit of a reds for some of our guys. That's the consistent thing here, is how to attract clients is a bit of a red here, which is usually the common reason is relying on referrals and word of mouth, which is why you guys are here. The second thing is convert. Let's talk about the convert pillar. I will ask you guys to give me a red, orange, or green for how you are going with converting clients right now. Give us a bit of a summary on how you're converting. Dave's a green. Infinite Production is a red, orange to green for Dilly. Cool. Josh is orange to green. Neem's a green. Cool. What else we got? Type in the chat, guys. Focus Studio is an orange. Cool. There's 50 of you legends on today's call, and we're not getting 50 red, orange, or greens in the chat. I'd like you guys to play full out. Remember the start of this workshop? We said it's the workshop. You're here for this whole 90 minutes. Let's play full out. Let's not sit around. Let's take action, right? Cool. There we go. We got some colors coming through. If you've ever been on a coaching call with me, you know I'll kick you in the ass if you don't do the work. Red and yellow. Yep, cool. German, give us a bit of a summary. What are the colors we've got coming through? What do you think is the most common one?
Orange.
Orange.
Some orange.
Okay. So a lot of you guys, a bit of an orange, okay, which is confident. It means we're not perfect, but we're in the middle, right? With the orange. Let's talk about retaining clients. How are you guys going with retaining clients in your business? Let's talk about that, retaining. Type in the chat. What colors? Are you a red, which is you don't have any retainer clients? You're an orange, you've got clients on retainer, or then you're maybe consistently working every couple of months, or you're a green, you've got people on retainer paying you monthly, and you've got 5 to 10 retainer clients. Got a lot here. Orange for Morgan, Focus Studio red, Dilly's an orange. Cool, we've got a few colors. German, what do you think the common color is, or that we're getting for this one?
We had a lot of reds, and then someone even said a dark red.
A dark red. Does that mean clients are leaving you left and center? And I don't even want to know that. What's a dark red? Hopefully we can change that. Yeah, lol jokes. We'll change that color today, dude. We'll make it hopefully get it to a green, right? Or a plan for you to get a green. I'd say based on that, we're about an orange in the middle. Okay, with that, what this means is we're going to jump into the first piece of content today, which is called niche mastery. And I really want to talk about, when it comes to getting really clear on the right market, there's a few key components. And when we get this right, when we pick a niche, and we're going to talk about how to do it today, sales becomes a lot easier. When it comes to signing people onto retainers, it becomes a lot easier when we niche down. I know some of you guys are hesitant in doing this, but sales, if you want it to be easy, got to niche down. Clients also chase you, right? You stop chasing them. It's not the other way around. So it's clients chase you. People come to you because they want to work with you, because you're the go-to person at what you do in that industry or that market. You're the go-to person for the style of video that you niche into, or whatever it is that you do. Clients start to chase you. And here's one of our clients, Zach, who nailed this. And this is a massive result. And I do not expect everyone to get this. But when you get your niche, this is what happens. So Zach came to us, and he was already a successful filmmaker, already a successful videographer. He was already running ads. He was actually getting some ads. He was getting leads. But he worked with everyone, and he didn't have a clear niche. He was sitting around that 8 to 10K per month consistently, which is up and down, by the way. But he had all these projects coming in that all word of mouth, some were ads, having a little bit of success. But he came to me and said, dude, I just can't figure this out. I can't get this ad thing to work, and I can't get consistent revenue in my business at the income that I want to provide for my family. And he was stuck at a bottleneck. We had a family, has a family of 3, and he needed to provide for his family. He said to me, Ed, I need to figure out how to get consistent revenue. Now, after we installed a retainer offer and paid ads into his system, into his business, after 3 months, he had an endless flow of leads, which is like having a tap in his business that he could turn on and off. He dialed in that message to market fit, and the market that he chose was real estate. Now, am I saying you guys need to choose real estate? Nope, because there are several other markets I'd recommend. I personally hate real estate agents. But he chose real estate as a market, and he was able to scale his business to $50K per month, which in 3 months, he did $124,000 in video deals in cash collected. Pretty insane result. But the first step also that Zach took is he saw a workshop like ours in the past, and he took that next step. He booked in that call. He booked in that first step. That was his first step to get the results that he was after. So if you want to book in a call, you can. And that first step, German, you can drop the link again. It's to book in a course, and you can get that first step. That's that first step to work out a plan. Now, let's talk about niche mastery, because I think this is really important when it comes to niching. There's 3 things here. And if you guys haven't got the workbook drawn out, just imagine drawing 3 circles on your page, and we're going to jam this out because there's 3 key things that I want you guys to get locked in here. The first thing is the who. Now, when it comes to niche mastery, there's a very common misconception is that we have to be very specific and dialed in on specifically one target market. Now, the who can be a couple of different things. The who can be the market, or it can be the avatar inside a market, right? So the who is the first step. Before we go and create a retainer offer, we need to know who we're selling a retainer offer to. Now, I like to check in with you guys who here already knows who they work with, who already has a market, or they're very clear on this. Type in the chat, and if you're not, I would also like you to type in, no, I'm not clear on this yet. This is what I want to get clear on. Type in the chat if you already have a market, and if you do, type the market that you are. Daryl, not yet, not clear. Morgan, I do. Cool. I know you do, dude. And that's why your ads are, I can see your ads popping up lately. They're working, dude. Dave, semi-clear. Braden's not clear. Dan's not clear. Andrew did, but not sure now. Lol. I know, dude. Cool. I think that's Sadie, his home services. Focus Studio is not clear. Cool. We got 50 of you legends on today's call. We're live right now. I didn't see 50 clear or not clear in the chat. Come on, guys. Let's type in the chat. Let's get really clear. I want to see what markets you are working with. So a lot of you are not clear right now. Is that the general consistent comment that we're seeing, German, at the moment? You're not clear at the moment?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of not clears. And I'm assuming that if you have not answered the question, maybe you're not clear yet?
Yeah, maybe. And guys, that is totally cool. Right? And when we get to the Q&A section, we'll jam out in a couple of markets I'd recommend. But not being clear is the first root of all this. Before we go and run an ad, and I'm going to be very blunt with you, this is a coaching moment. If you don't have a clear market that you're working with, your ads will not convert. And we're going to talk about ads in a second, and it's one of the key things and revealing the secret for it. If you've tried ads before and you've put an ad up and says, hey, I'm a video production company that makes videos. Would you like videos? You will have Sally, who has a birthday party this weekend, reach out to you saying, hey, I would love some videos. Can you do it for $50? And then you got Jerry, who's got his wedding this weekend. And he's, oh man, I just need someone to film it. Can you just film it for less than $1,000? You're gonna get all these come through if you don't get clear in this. This is why it's really important. So if we're not clear, totally get it. That's why you're on today. But the first step of all this is getting clear on the who. So the who, if we don't get clear in this, can cause a lot of pain. It can cause a lot of frustration in our business because we can never actually create a retainer offer. Now, that's the first thing we need to get clear on. The second thing is the what. The what. Now, the what is what we're solving, the problem. Okay, the problem. What problem are we solving for the who? I would like you guys to type in the chat if you don't have a market yet. Let's talk about the problem that you're solving in your video. Let's type in the chat. What problem are you solving? Type in the chat. We'd love to know. Because the what is, what are we solving? Neem's got time. Cool. Time's a big issue. Time's a huge one. Alex is promoting other businesses. Challenging on, man. This is a workshop. Promoting other businesses. Promoting them to do what? What problem is that? They have a problem with not promoting themselves? Type in the chat. I want you guys to type in the chat. This is a workshop here. We're jamming. Jonathan, video marketing to convert sales, build trust, and proof of expertise for businesses. Cool. That's what you do. I'm talking about what problem you solve. It's a mixture of both there. You're not wrong, by the way. I'm just challenging you here. Andrew, building their online brand. Alex, they don't have videos to promote themselves, so they would be a bridge. This would bridge the gap. Morgan, time and effort. Cool. Daryl, case studies to provide proof. Now, none of these are specifically wrong, but I want to give you some tips on when we get really clear. The problem isn't that they don't have videos, okay? I want you guys to write this down. The problem isn't that they don't have videos. If you are selling that as a service that, oh, my clients don't have videos, they come to me because they want videos, you are a commodity and you will always stay exactly where you are when it comes to revenue. Very bluntly, we'll say that to you. Big lesson I learned. This is the quote that I want you guys to write down. In 2017, when I first started marketing my production business, I ran into this problem where I started going out to businesses and I thought, man, the problem is they don't have videos. I'm a video production company. What they want is videos. They want this brand new looking video. So I'm going to sell them and I'll put this quote together of $5,000 of a brand story video, testimonial package or whatever it is. And I go to them and then they go, that's too expensive. I can't afford that. Oh, no, I don't think I need it. And I'm like, hang on a second. You said to me before you don't have videos. I just did you a quote and a proposal and drew up this plan for you. And now you're saying you don't want it. Has anyone else experienced that? Type in the chat. Have you experienced where you've had a client come to you saying they want this glorious video and this thing here and this there? You draw a proposal, you send it to them, and then they come back to you and they go, nah. Everyone's typing in the chat. We can all relate to this. Okay? Now, who's at fault here? Is it the client or is it you? Or ghost? Yeah, you get ghosted. Now, this is because we're talking about the wrong thing. Because the vehicle, people don't buy the vehicle. They buy the promise or the outcome that they want to achieve. They buy what they want. People buy the thing that they want and then they justify logically, which is the vehicle, your thing, why they need 3 videos in the package. So we need to get them emotionally engaged with this. We need to also figure out what is it they truly want, which depending on the market and depending on who you choose, there's different problems. And if you're just solving time in the market, and I know some of you guys have typed in the chat, you just solve time is the problem. Great. It's also not a big problem. So if we want to earn more, as in we want to get clients who sign up for a longer retainer, we need to get them to invest more. And investing more is when you solve a bigger problem. So the what is the problem, and we need to get really clear on what that is, okay? So the who is the market, it's the avatar. It's who we're gonna work with. The what is that second pillar. If we don't get this right, we're gonna miss out. The third part is the how. Now, some of you guys already typed in the how in the chat. I want you guys to type in the chat. How are you gonna help them solve the problem? What is your vehicle to solve their problem? Some examples. Short form content. Maybe it's YouTube. And when we talk about retainers, maybe it's a YouTube strategy. Maybe it's a short form content strategy. Maybe it's case study videos. If we're talking retainers, by the way, brand story videos, you're not going to be doing a brand story video every single month, by the way. Case study videos, maybe you're doing one a month, depending how big the client's business is, if they need it. But realistically, there's a few types of videos that are consistent retainers. So when we talk about a retainer and getting really clear in the market, we need to be solving a problem that's consistent, by the way. So consistent problems. The how is examples. So we've got in the chat, customer research and creating short form content around that. Great. Dan is testimonials, client testimonials. Cool. Client testimonials are great. Truth is, they're not a retainer offer. Unless you are producing 1 or 2 every month. Just an insight there for you guys. So when we look at the problems, and this is when we choose our niche, is we need to look at someone who has, and this is the key concepts, who has a problem that we need to solve consistently, and we have a vehicle that's going to solve it consistently. That's when we get really clear on our niche mastery, right? So when we nail these things, it can really help our business. So who here, type in the chat, who here is scared of niching? I know we just talked about niching right now. Type in the chat, who here is scared of doing this? Who is scared? Yep. Jeffrey, yep. Daryl, yep. Infinite Productions. Cool. I'm going to address the elephant. You guys are scared of doing this. I totally get it. And that's cool. Remember, we're here. We're a community on this call right now. It's a lot of fun. Andrew, all right, cool. Yes. It feels like I'm missing out on potential clients. Yes. Yeah. Tell you what, all those statements that you just made, yeah, they're definitely very genuine concerns. However, they're not true. Niching down provides you with consistent income. So this is where I want to talk a little bit about mindset. I like to call it the non-niching or non-approach to getting really clear in your market is like the freelancer mindset, where you're trying to have your finger in every single pie. The business owner mindset looks at the business and goes, what's the best option or solution for my business to grow? So for some of you guys, I want you to make this decision. Are you going to be a freelancer and continue to have your fingers in all the pies? And totally, that's cool. And that's it. You probably shouldn't do retainers. You shouldn't go down this model because you're not going to have success with it. Who here wants to be a business owner? Which the business owner takes the approach of going, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to pick a market, or I'm going to make that decision to work for the market for a period of time. And by the way, guys, it doesn't mean you stop bringing on other clients. You can still do it. But with our retainer, we're going to get really clear on who it is we work with. We're going to get clear on the problem we're going to solve, and we're going to create a business. Who here wants to transition away from being the freelancer or the creative that doesn't make decisions in terms of growing a business? And who wants to become a business owner? You know, I call it a video agency. Who wants to transition? Who's going to make that commitment today? Andrew said, yeah, 100%, I'm going to make that commitment. Braden, yes, dude. Video agency, yep. Daryl, Jonathan, 100%. Cool. Dan, 100%. Great. Neem, I want to take lead. I love it, dude. Action taker. So let's ask this question. Let's type in the chat. If niching down meant having a predictable income, would you do it? If niching down meant you could have consistent revenue in your business to provide for your family and provide for you to have a team, would you do it? Alex says yes. Andrew, of course. Braden, yep. Sandy, yep. Jonathan, would love to get out of the scarcity mindset. Great. Cool. I love it. Appreciate you guys playing full out and being vulnerable today and sharing today. It's really cool. This is really important for you guys. Daniel, yes. Dilly, 100%. Neem, yes. Cool. So let's talk about the retainer blueprint. So now we're talking about niching. And some of you guys, you haven't picked a market yet, and that's totally cool, right? Let's talk about the retainer blueprint and what actually makes a retainer and what makes a successful retainer, in my opinion, right? So the goal of retainer is we want to be electricity bill in our client's business. We want to be a consistent thing that our clients go, I need you, not just want you or you're nice to have. I need you part of my process to keep the lights on. This is when we understand that we become sticky. And this is a very important thing when we develop a retainer is we want to become sticky within our client's business where they need us. We're not just nice to have, because if we're nice to have, we're the first thing to get dropped as a video production company. If we're a need to have and we're part of their marketing strategy and we keep the lights on, which we do, because you're creating marketing assets for your business, these clients' businesses, whatever business they are, they need it. They need to consistently do it. I know for me, I need to consistently create content. That's why I have a team. That's why I produce content. That's why I run a production company. Clients need to keep the lights on. And to keep the lights on, they need consistent content. And for you, when we get this right, it's like having a safety net. Retainers are like, say we have a bad month or we're feeling a little bit down and we're like, you know what, I can't be bothered doing sales this month or running ads or doing anything like that. If we have consistent revenue in business, we can cover the baseline in our business, which means we don't have to stress about where our next client's coming from. We can actually act out of wanting to help, not just signing clients. And let's check into the chat here. Who signed clients before that they know they shouldn't have signed, but they signed them because you know you got rent to pay next week or bills? Who's timed that? Type in the chat. And you know that they're a red flag client and you're like, yep, Neem, Daryl, yep, Braden, yep. Cool. We've all done it. We're all guilty as charged. Yep, Morgan. Yep. It's a very common thing. The power of when we have retained clients is like having this safety net where we don't have to do that. We get to pick and choose. We get to pick the right clients. We get to work with amazing people and work on cool projects. So when we have the baseline covered, say it's 10K or 20K per month in our business, we're covering all our expenses. We're covering having a team on board. We're covering our wage or whatever we're taking home as an income, whatever that is for you, right? It's like having a safety net, which leads us to, you start to feel good about the work and results you get your clients. You start to feel great. This image is from ChatGPT again. You start to feel good where your business is going because you have this stability, but also you get better results on retainers for clients, right? When clients stay longer, they also spend more and they refer more. A lot of you guys said today that you struggle with attracting leads. When you have retainer clients and you look after them, they refer you more clients. Marketing becomes really easy because you keep getting referrals from your retainer clients because they love working with you and you've built this relationship with you. They stay longer, they spend more money with you, they get awesome results, they keep referring more, and they become case study clients, which equals better results in your business. Makes it a lot easier for you to market. Let me ask you guys a question. How much money are you leaving on the table right now with clients not being on a retainer? How much money is being left on the table with not having your clients sign up to a retainer? Jonathan, too much. All right, type in the chat, guys. Type in the chat. Would love to know. By the way, guys, appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. This is a lot of fun. I love doing this. Neem, my guess is around 25K per month, which sounds like not a lot. That's $300,000 a year you're leaving on the table. If you do the math. Infinite production, it's too much. Scared to think about it. A lot, right? It's a lot of money left on the table if you don't know how to get clients and retainer. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. I don't want to put too much fear into how much money you guys are leaving on the table, but we're leaving a lot of money on the table if we don't have retainers, right? Let's jump in to the offer blueprint. Jump back to my iPad. If it's flicked back, we should be on this strategy 2 document. You guys can see this. Yep. Give me a quick thumbs up if you can see my iPad. Give us a quick thumbs up in the chat. Cool, great. Just double checking. Sometimes it doesn't work. So the retainer offer blueprint looks like this. When we're building a retainer offer, we need to make sure we get some key things right. And this is solely my opinion. Other people will have a different opinion. But this is what I honestly believe. If you really want to build a retainer model business, you've got to get this right. If you don't, it won't work. It won't scale. So how this works is right now, when we first start out in our video creative agency, is we just do content only, right? And content only kind of leaves us with just getting paid for the video. And we're also competing on price. And sometimes we have to barter to get someone on across the board if it's just content. So if someone comes to you, just make them a video, you're only ever going to charge them a certain price if it's just the video. Also, they're also going to go get other quotes. Has anyone else been beaten by someone else on a quote where someone's come to you, is like, hey man, I'm just like looking for prices right now, and you give them a quote and then they go with another company? And that's because, yep, too often. And yeah, usually the reason is because it's just content, because you're not looking at any results to help the client. And also it's really hard to retain and scale that kind of model where you're just doing once-off videos. This is why personally, I don't like doing weddings. Not saying you can't do weddings, by the way. You can build a very successful wedding business, but it's not a retainer. And same with brand story videos. Brand story videos are not a retainer. Just doing a one-off client event video is not a retainer. So if we're just doing once-off videos, that is not the retainer model. And that's not what I'm going to share with you today, right? The second journey where is, okay, we understand, okay, we don't just do the videos now. Now we go, oh, maybe I need to actually help the client come up with a strategy. So strategy and content. You start to get good money and you start to get some results for your clients. So you don't just make the video anymore. You come to them with a plan. You say, hey, this is the style of video that you need. And maybe, hey, they come to you, my problem is I don't know how to build my brand. You go, great, what we need to do is a brand video. And you come up with a strategy. And to a point, you can earn some good money doing this. And some of you guys may be doing some big brand videos, some big client packages, and maybe have some high 10K months and 20K months. And then you have that roller coaster ride that goes down again. And then you're like, oh shit. It's because they don't need more content after that. You've done the thing and you've earned good money, which you get good results for them. They're happy with it. They're fine. And the problem is it doesn't retain the scale. So that's the kind of where some of you guys are, right? The third model of a retainer-based business or video agency is where we have these three things done right. It's where we do the strategy for the client. We create the content and we do the marketing for them. Now, the marketing does not mean doing paid ads for them, by the way. The marketing is implementing the strategy. Because one of the biggest problems that I've found across the last 7 years when it comes to videos, and I want you guys to type in the chat here, when you send the Google file or the folder to the client, you give them the videos, you deliver these beautiful things, you give it to them, maybe there's 10 videos. Who here can relate to this? The client, you send them the file and they don't use them. And they don't post them. Who's had this happen? Type in the chat. Had this posted on midnight side? Yes. Right. Yep, it's annoying. It's freaking annoying, guys. Andrew, yes. It sucks, right? Spent 6K, didn't use it. Yeah, it happens a lot. It's disheartening because you guys spend so much time with the strategy and creating this awesome looking video and then they don't use it. And you're sitting there going, man, I spent all this time creating this for you and you're not even going to use it. And then they go, oh, we've changed our design or we want to go this direction now. Now, let's be honest here. Who's at fault? Is it the client or is it us? Sometimes it's the client, but majority of the time, if we don't position our business correctly, we're not actually going to help our clients. And this is really important to me that when you are selling a service, you need to have a system in place to help your clients at the best way possible. Now, this is where, if you want retainers, we've got to look at this model. We're going to look at adding some sort of marketing, which is maybe posting or at least getting someone else, part of a friend who runs a marketing agency who can post and manage the videos. Having that part of the package, having that part of the retainer. If we don't, we won't have results for clients and we won't have clients to stay around. That's the brutal honest truth. If we don't get this right, clients don't stay. When we get it right, clients will stay, they'll get better results and they will retain. They will stay with you longer and they spend more with you. Hopefully. You're getting some insights. Just checking in the chat. Who here so far has had a breakthrough? Type in the chat. Would like you guys to know who he is. Does that kind of make sense? Type in the chat. Let me know. What's your takeaway from that so far? It makes a lot of sense for Aaron. Yeah. Cool. Yep. Sal, yep. Dan, makes sense. Daniel, yep. 100%. Cool. We're getting this. Andrew Penn, yes. Cool. There's 50 of your legends on right now. I'd love to see you guys all in the chat type in. If you're just tuning in with some headphones and you're just listening, I totally get it. But this is a workshop. We're here to work. We're not here to just listen in. We're here to work. We're here to play full out. So type in the chat, guys. I'd love to know. What's a takeaway? Morgan, heck of a lot of sense. Daryl, I was building one of these packages but never offered it. Great. Key insights here. Cool. So let's move on to the next thing, which is where you guys go, this is great. I know I need to go this retainer model. I need to do the strategy, do the content, and then help them manage it. And that's how I get retainers on board. How do I price it? Now, there is a perfect pricing formula that I look at when it comes to retainer. Now, again, you got to know who you're talking to get the pricing right. But this is the key concept that I look at. Now, I want to check in the chat. Who here is doing, actually, let's do another diagram. I want to do this one with you guys. Who here, I want to check in with revenue just so I can make sure I tailor this to you guys. Who here is doing below $30,000 per month? Type in the chat and just type in what your revenue number, just average. Don't have to give me the full to the dollar cent. Just say I'm doing 5K per month or 2K per month or 10K or 20K. If you're above 30, type in the chat as well. Daryl's 15, 10 to 15, 13K, 20K, 3K, 15K, 5K. Cool. Okay. Got some 2Ks, 5 to 10. Great. Okay, cool. So a lot of you guys are what I like to call below the line, which is, I call this the 30K. I'll even put this as 20K. 30K is here, and then we'll put 50K. So we're at the 5 or even 2 below the line, right? And below the line is where we're struggling. There's struggle. There's no consistency. And then there's no lead gen. Just talking about some of the issues that you guys will probably be having right now. No lead gen. And then no retainers, right? This is where I see as a line. So you guys get stuck at this point at 20K. This is like the hamster wheel. Fluctuating, right? We'll come back to this diagram in a second because I want to anchor in some lessons here. So as we go through, we're starting to build out this retainer model. When it comes to pricing, let's just talk about a 30K example retainer. Now, we have some clients who we work with who are aiming for 100K in monthly recurring revenue. For some of you guys on today's call, and just why I want to check in on the revenue where we're at, that is insane. That is your yearly goal in a month. We have some guys doing that. I do not expect everyone to do that. Let's talk about a more manageable goal, which is time runner. Thanks, German. Appreciate it. A more manageable goal that I look at in terms of revenue is 30K. 30K for me is like the sweet spot where we're not burning the candle at both ends. We have a business that kind of works with a small team. It's a lot of fun. Guys who go up to over 30K to 50K, depending on where they are and what business they build, it gets a little bit harder. So I want to talk about a more manageable business for most of you guys, which a lot of you guys want more freedom. If you want more freedom, don't try and build a 100K recurring business right now. Okay. Some of you guys might want that. I totally get it. But I'm going to warn you right now, there's some hurdles that happen at those levels. So let's talk about the client ratio because I think this is really important. The bottom here, we have the number of clients, and the top here, we have the recurring revenue number that we need to hit the 30K. So the bottom here, we can have a offer at $1 and we can have 30,000 people paying us $1 a month. That's one way of doing $30,000 a month. Now, that's extreme. We obviously don't want to do that. On the other end is having a 30K offer and having one client, which some of you guys will be like, yeah, I'd love one client paying me 30K. However, there's also some risk of just having one client or all your eggs in one bucket. So where we found the sweet spot is right in the middle here. And it's between these two kind of numbers here. And the great thing about this is you get to choose the price and you get to choose the market and you get to choose what amount of clients that you want to have. Now, I'd like you guys to type in the chat. What's your revenue goal that you want to hit? Because I said 30K is a goal, but what's your revenue monthly goal that you want to hit in retainers? What is it? Just type in the chat. Andrew's 50K. 15K for Jonathan, 50K for Daniel, 50K per month. Cool. So if you got 50K, just take this same analogy and we'll just bump it up. 30K is just like my middle ground that I'd aim for. So in the middle here, we've got two price points that I see as the sweet spot for a consistent monthly retainer. Now the sweet spot is actually 3K. This is where we coach a lot of our guys to get a 3K offer in their business. Some guys do 5Ks. We have one client who's doing a 10K monthly recurring revenue retainer. The workload in those things does change. But the sweet spot where I found that most businesses that will pay on a retainer is around about 3K. And the 3K is not a lot to them. If you have the right market or the right business you work with, in most cases, 3K is just part of their marketing spend that they'll spend. And it's like electricity bill. It's like they'll keep the lights on. It's not a big expense. It's going to be part of their business in their marketing and they need it. You get to collect that 3K per month. Now, if you wanted to do 30K per month on a 3K, you only need how many clients? Type in the chat, guys. How many clients do we need if we had a 3K offer to hit 30? 10. 10 clients. 10. Does that kind of seem a little bit more manageable? I know some of you guys might be thinking, oh, maybe not, but maybe yes. Is 10 clients on a 3K retainer seem manageable? Just type in the chat. Give us some honest feedback. Does it feel manageable? Dan, not for me. Cool. Oh, this raises an interesting question. I'll ask you, Dan, why not? Andrew, not as a solopreneur. Great. Yes, definitely manageable. For sure. Always thought about this, but struggled with offering niching. Alex, it depends on capacity to scale. I lack team, not solo. Yeah. So some genuine concerns. And this is why I want to bring it up. Because some of you guys look at revenue and you get stuck thinking, I can't get there because of my capacity. Here's the truth. Sign the clients first, get the team on board, right? We coach a lot of our clients when they start to get to 10 to 20K, you bring on your first couple of team members. And these team members don't actually need to be full-timers, by the way, contractors. So when we look at that, the pricing ratio, a sweet spot is around about that 3K. Now, does that mean your offer has to be 3K? No, you can have a price point of whatever you want. You can go along the scale as far as wide as you like, and that's completely up to you. But I'm just giving you some examples today to give you what I would recommend. Between 2 and 5K is a sweet spot. We have some clients doing 10K, right? In those offers, there is a lot that they do, but it really comes down to the market that you work with. Kind of touching on this, and we are running out of time. I want to jam out in this one, but I'll go as fast, as quick, and as actionable as I can with this one, because I think this is super important. So when we understand now that we need to be an agency that provides not just content, but the strategy and the content and the way to market it, we need to look at the future-based promise. Now, the future-based promise is looking at where are we taking our client in 12 months. If you want a client to sign up for a retainer, you need to know where you're taking them. If you just say to a client, sign up to a retainer, this is how much it is, they will not buy. Here's the truth. Clients do not sign up to retainers, right? Type in the chat, why do you think the number one reason why is clients do not sign up to a retainer when you say, do you want to sign up to a retainer? Type in the chat, why do you think they say no or they hesitate? Trust, not enough trust, yes. What else, right? Type in the chat, guys. There's a few other things I want to talk about. They need a destination, not seeing the value. Many people don't want to commit to the expense, all right? If it's an expense. Case studies, yes, Neem. You can also sign retainer clients without case studies, by the way. Jonathan, because it's not telling them what the problem you are solving. Yeah, Josh, return on investment. Sean, they see it as a cost instead of an investment. No brand promise, not seeing results. Yeah. Now, I want the flip side of that, guys. How long should clients be posting content before they see results? What's the average time? Is it going to happen in one video? They're suddenly going to get the results they need. How long is it going to take? It's going to type in the chat. 6 months, maybe a month, could be a few months. Yeah. So we run into a bit of a problem here. Whereas we want the retainer because we want the recurring revenue. And that's a lot of what I'm talking about today. You guys have come here because you want consistent revenue. You want to hit those 10, 20 or 30, 40, 50K plus recurring months, which is freaking awesome. I love that. And that's what we're going to work towards. However, the client doesn't want to sign up to your income and just pay your bills. They want something and they want to know where they're going. So we call this a future-based performance, which is figuring out where they'll be in 12 months. Now, for each market, it's going to be different. And along the way, we have milestones that we're going to hit. And when we get this future-based promise right, is we're able to have this journey where we draw out the journey, the plan for the client. A lot of you guys jumped on today's call and you said, hey, Etten, the number one thing I want from today is a plan. Great. We're showing you the plan. To implement the plan, there's two options. You can take it, implement it yourself, and spend the next 6-12 months trying to figure it out. Or you can book in a 15-minute call with our team and we'll get really clear on the plan for you and help you out. Clients want a plan. You guys want a plan. Your clients want a plan. So when it comes to a retainer offer, they want a plan. They don't want to be sold shackles into a retainer offer to just sit there and go, oh, I got to pay 3K per month. They want to go, man, what is this actually going to help me achieve? And if you're not clear on that, I totally get it. It takes a little while. And this is one of the key components that we help a lot of our clients actually implement into their business, because getting the plan right really helps you sign more clients, but also helps the client get better results if you know what the plan is that you're working towards with the client. If it's just, here's the monthly content package and we're just going to make videos for you, or we're just going to do this, and it's not really a clear plan on what you're going to help them achieve, I'm sorry, they're not going to sign a retainer. And you'll come back to me going, dude, people aren't signing up to retainers. I know I want retainers because I want consistent income, but my clients are ghosting me still because I don't know how to position the plan in a right way. Let's talk about what impact would having a consistent 10 to 20K per month in your business have on your business. If you were to figure out the plan and get this in process with a retainer offer, what impact is this going to have on your business? Type in the chat, would love to know. And again, we'd like you guys to play full out. Massive impact for Jonathan, okay? Huge. Expand the team, great. When you have more consistent income, you can expand your team. This is awesome. Neem, I can probably pay to have a team and accomplish more. Yes. There's a great quote. I think from, I don't know who it's from, but it's basically you can go fast alone or you can go far together. And if you want to build a team, you got to go far. You're able to have a business that impacts more people's lives, changes your family's life, right? Dilly's got momentum, impact, growth. Sandy's got more team members. Alex, money, reinvest. Morgan, huge impact, grow, serve, build more. Build systems to allow me to spend time on other projects. just like I said before, when you have consistent revenue, you're able to spend a lot of time on those passion projects. So we're going to get really clear now on the next step. So love you guys playing full out, and conscious of time here. We might be a couple minutes over. I hope I'm not over delivering too much to you guys. Kind of jam out. We're conscious of time here. Want to make sure we've got about 15, 20 minutes left. And we get some Q&A as well. Let's go through the 3 lead gen levers, right? Now we've talked about the market. We've talked about the type of model that we're going to have for a retainer offer. We now need to understand these 3 things when it comes to generating leads through paid ads, but also through our own marketing. Because a lot of you guys said today, I want to get leads, which is fantastic. But if you don't understand these 3 things, it doesn't matter if I show you how to get a Facebook ad running, because you can go to YouTube and learn how to set up a Facebook ad. And I've had people, and some of you guys have said you've run ads before, but they haven't worked or they're not converting. And it's because of these 3 things. So I want you guys to understand these 3 things because it's a key component of really getting it right. Case study. So Nelson, one of our high-level clients, absolutely legend at this. But I want to share his case study because when he first came to me, he didn't know how to consistently generate leads. That was one of the main things he said to me. Dude, I'm a freaking boss. I'm a legend at creating content. He already had the filming, that stuff. I want to take it to the next level, but I just don't know how to get leads consistently. That was his number 1 bottleneck that he had. He said, dude, if you get me leads, I'll close. I said, great. Let's talk about it. So when he first came to us, he had run ads before with little success. He had no retainer offers. So he didn't actually have a clear offer, right? He was sitting around 8 to 10K a month inconsistently, with some months no income at all, which sucks, which a lot of you guys said today. You have those roller coaster months where it's, yes, 20K a month, and then suddenly, bam, hit the ground and it wasn't working. After 12 months, we just finished doing a case study interview with him recently. If you haven't checked it out, you should definitely check it out. He has an endless flow of leads. He has a tap in his business that he can turn on. He's become the authority in his niche in Australia, right? If you guys in Australia, you may have seen his ads. That's cool. I love that. If you've seen his ads, who here has seen his ads? Type in the chat. I'd love to know. He scaled his business to 64K per month consistently with retainers. So he has offers ranging from $3,000 to $10,000 in monthly recurring offers. Got a couple of different tiers in retainers. All his clients come from ads, and he's on track. He just signed a 20K in recurring revenue, 2 deals the other week, and 2 10K deals. He's on track to hit 100K per month. I think it's this month or even into next month. He's just moved into his new studio place, right? Now, this is cool. This is sharing a case study. This is exciting. That's awesome. Those are massive numbers for me, and I totally get it. But if you're struggling with getting leads right now, Nelson's next step or first step that he took is he booked in a call with the team. He booked in a call with us. He said, hey, I know how to run a video business, but I don't know how to get leads. I need help. And that first step he took was he booked in a call. So if you want to book in a call, a 15-minute call with our team, it's free. There's nothing to buy in the call. We'll work out a bit of a plan to see even what we can. If we can't help you, we can point you in the right direction. There's a link in the chat that you click to book a call. If you've already booked a call, that's awesome. I know a couple of people have already got some notifications. People booked some calls. Already had some calls booked in before this workshop, which is really cool. But if you want to take that next step, like Nelson did, the first step that he took was booking a call, right? So let's jump into the 3 lead gens, because I think this is really important to jump into this, because a lot of you guys want to know how to get ads to work. And there's really 3 key things that we need to get right. The first thing is the offer, right? Now, before we go to run an ad, we need to be clear on the offer. And we've been talking about the offer today. We've been talking about a retainer offer. Now, the retainer offer is not what you go on the ad. You don't go, hey, I'm a video production company, sign up to my retainer offer. And I saw an ad, and I will not name names. I hope they're not in this workshop. I don't know what the name of their business was, but I saw another video production company run an ad, and I saw it, and it literally said $4.95 a month or something, retainer offer, as their ad, directly marketing the ad. Now, what this does, and I'm not sure that person's on today's call, guarantee they will get a lot of tire kickers, but also they will not hit the income goals from ads, because the offer, if it's just on price, people always make a decision on price, and you'll have cheap, shitty leads. So the offer is not going, here's my package, buy my thing. The offer is understanding the problem that you're solving and offering a solution. So we make an offer at the solution. So the offer is the first thing we need to get right. The second thing is the market to message fit. message fit. So again, obviously we need to know who we're talking to, which is along with the marketing message. In our ad copy, in our creative, in our stuff that we put into our ads, we need to be speaking their language. And I'll call Morgan out because I know he's on today's call. He's one of our clients. Love his ads that I've seen right now. He's currently in one of our programs. His ads are specifically at trades businesses, and they're talking to tradies. And he's talking about the problems that the tradies are having when it comes to consistent content or growing their brand. Now, am I saying trades business is the best market? No, there's multiple markets you can work with. But the messaging needs to be dialed in for us to get leads. For us, our ads to start to convert, is we need to have the offer and the message dialed in, the message to market fit. The third thing is the right time. If we get the offer right, which is what's the problem we're solving, we get the message to market fit, so we start to speak their language in our ad copy. Think of this as like the ad copy needs to speak to them. If I said to you guys, I'm going to help you sell more products, and that was what this workshop was about, you would not click on this workshop because you don't sell products, you sell video package deals. The words that I say in our marketing, I use a lot of what we teach is what we do. You got to speak the language. You got to speak the words that they understand. So a trades business, for example, if that was a market you're going after, they will talk about the struggles of being on the tools, being in the trenches, or being on site working on things. Those things is what the words and messaging we need to get right. So when we know the market we're talking to, we can get the message right, which means we can get it at the right time. And one of our clients who's based over east here in Australia, his name is Ed from Mango Media, works with construction companies, and he absolutely dialed this in. I remember when we did a call, it was about almost 2 years ago when we wrote his ad. He still runs the exact same ad today, and he's doing around about 30 to 40K per month, which is super, super cool. And he came to me and he said to me, dude, I need help writing the copy. I know how to sell. I kind of got my offers sorted a little bit, but I need to get leads, right? And a lot of you guys said today, you want leads. The messaging we got right for his thing is, I actually asked him a little bit about his client that he wanted to attract. He said, man, I'm chatting to all these construction business owners. They're all busy, time poor, which is the problem they have. But he said, the core thing that they really want to solve is they want to get their wife off their back. Because he said to me, like, dude, all these guys I'm chatting to, their wife is telling them they need to be on social media and be consistent. And he's like, man, like, that's the problem. That's the core problem. That's the actual underlying problem that they're having, which is their wife is telling them they need to do consistent content to showcase their brand. The problem wasn't getting more leads for that business, for the construction business. It was showcasing the work and not having enough time to do that professionally. So we wrote in his ad, literally said in one of the lines of copy, which is to get your wife off your back. Part of messaging. Still today, he runs that same ad, and I love it because it works. Now that was just one piece of message in the copy, but when we understand these elements, which is obviously the offer, which is the first thing, getting the message, the right time. The right time is where they are in what we call the pit of despair, right? So the right time is when people buy. People buy here. They don't buy when they're suddenly successful. They don't buy over here. They buy when shit's going and hitting the fan, right? If everything's perfect in their business or in their marketing and they've got a social media marketing manager, they won't click on your ad. They won't opt in. They'll only opt in to your ad when it's the right time for them. So if we understand that there's a segment of the market that is ready, right? This market, it's the right time for them because we're putting the right message in front of them with the right offer at the right time. This is when they'll go, oh man, you are speaking to me, not yelling at me. You're speaking to me. You're not just trying to sell me video. You understand my problems. And when people feel understood, they feel understood. When they're understood, they start to understand that you have a solution to solve their problem. And a really good way to look at this is marketing works best when you start speaking to one and when you start speaking to a person that has the problem that you want to solve. So when we talk about our retainer offers, you guys want the retainer offers because you guys want the recurring revenue, which is freaking awesome. And I love that. And I'm here for you. That's when we can show you how to do that. But you also got to look at what your client needs. And if just selling them video, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be blunt. You can leave the Zoom right now. If you're just selling video, you are not solving problems. You need to do more. You need to help your client get really clear on their message, what they need to be putting in their videos, what they actually need to be creating, what types of videos for their business. And just creating short form content. Cool. If your short form content videos aren't getting results, you're not focusing on the strategy. You're not really getting clear on that. And I know for some of you guys, it may hurt a little bit to hear that. Oh, but I learned the video thing and I'm good at the creating. Shouldn't that be enough? I'm sorry, if you want retainer clients and you want people to stay around, they've got to stay around because you're helping them solve a problem. And if you're not solving a problem, you're just another commodity, right? Type in the chat, guys. Are you going to make a commitment to not just be another production company who makes fancy videos, but you're actually going to commit to getting clear and helping people, right? Type in the chat if you've got to be that. You're going to focus on getting better. And this is time. It's going to take time. Type in the chat. We'd love to know. Hard truth, but makes sense. Yeah. It does. Let's go, Neem. I know you do it. I know you're a believer. Andrew, yes. Good to see you on, Andrew, man. Haven't seen you for a while, bro. Good to see you on. Jonathan, I'm committed to helping businesses and growing them. Yes. Morgan, yes. Great. Cool. I love it. We've got a couple minutes left, guys. So a couple things I want to talk about before we wrap up into Q&A. A couple questions. If we get more leads, will we make more money? I want you guys to answer this question in the chat. If we could get more leads, will we make more money? If you had consistent pipeline or flow of leads coming into your business, would you make more money? Type in the chat. I'd love to know. Would having consistent leads, if we figure this ad thing out and get the right offer, the right message at the right time, yes. Andrew's yes. Braden, yes. Cool. Who else? I think there's only 3 people typed in yes. Type in the chat, guys. Focus, yes. Dilly, yes. Sada, yes. Leads is closing more sales. Yes. Alex, yes. Neem, yes. Daryl, for sure. Daniel, yep. Not necessarily. Must be convert first. Converting comes after you've got leads, right? Josh, close more sales, but then can raise prices. So yes. So if we had more consistent leads, we also get to pick and choose, right? It makes sales a lot easier. So let's go back to that diagram before, and then I want to jump into a little bit of Q&A before we finish up. Are you guys okay if I go a couple minutes over? I know we've got about 5 minutes, but I've got about 10 minutes left. Are you guys okay? You hope I don't want to take... Great. Encore. One more song. Great. I'm having fun, guys. Let's come back to this. So we talked about this before, and we talked about some of you guys are doing 2 to 5K on the way to get into 20K. And it's like this ceiling for some of you guys. You feel like you're stuck, which is we have a struggling business, no consistency, no lead gen, no retainers. My scribbling's terrible here. The opposite of that is where we want freedom. You guys said this today. You want freedom. You want more money. You want consistency, right? You want to get to 20 or 30, 50K per month. That's what you guys have said, right? So where I see here, there's 2 key lines that we will look at this. The first line is we've got this pathway where we can go, great, we're heading towards that. The other pathway is where we head down here, right? And the starting of this journey is you guys are right here, right now. Now, those lines seem very close together right here because if you don't change anything, and there's a really good quote, what got you to where you are now won't get you to where you want to be. And Einstein says insanity is doing the same thing again and again, expecting a different result, right? So right now, this is all exciting. This workshop's fun. We're having a lot of fun here, learning a lot of cool stuff. And I feel like most people will take away this information and it's very insightful. But there's really 2 lines. You've got point A, which is where a lot of you guys said you want to be. And then point B is where you continue being where you're at. Now, if we go along a year from now, 1 year, it can either get better or it can get worse. And if we go along 3 years, there's definitely a massive gap. So I want you guys to talk about this. And I want you guys to type in the chat, do you want to be on line A in the next couple of years? Or do you want to be on line B, which is like being where you are, but consistently going in that same direction? Just type in A or B. We'd love to know in the chat. Jonathan's on line A. Yeah, lots of A's. Great. Cool. Lots of A's. We didn't see any B's, which is great. If I saw a B, I'd be worried. So I'd like to ask you this question before we jump into Q&A. If you had my help, would you think you'd be able to get to that line a lot faster? Just type in the chat, yes or no. Would you be able to grow faster if you had personal help? Neem, no doubt. Dude, yeah, for sure. Jonathan, yep. we've covered a lot today, and obviously I would love to jam out with you guys for longer, and got a little bit over time. Alex says, yeah, cool. This is the last thing, and we'll jump into Q&A. If you've gotten value out of today and you're on that line in the middle where you want to get to line A, you can book in a call. And there's a link in the chat that you can book in a call with my team where there's nothing to sell in the call. It's a 15 to 20 minute call to see if or not we can help you. And if we can share what that looks like, and if we can't, that is totally cool. At least you'll know if we can or we can't. That call's free. You can book it in. German is the guy who's just dropping the link in the chat. You'll have a call with German. We'll work at a growth plan and get really clear on what's holding you back and what's stopping you from going to that point A line. Because some of you guys, the point B line is where you're currently on that trajectory. And if you want to get to the point A, there's really two types of people that come to these workshops. There's the guys who love coming to these workshops, great information, they take all these insights, they get off and then they go home and then they put all the notes in the bookcase and then they join the next workshop and then they don't do anything with the things they learn. I've seen a lot of people like that. That's people one. The other people are the ones who are like, man, dude, I totally get it. I'm sick of being on this workshop right now. I'm ready to jump on the call with you guys and just get started, right? So if you're that second person, you can book in that call right now and schedule that this week. Got a few spots this week. I will stress that we have had a shit ton of people booking calls and we are limited on the amount of calls we can take this week. So if you do want to have a call, there's a link in the chat. You can book in that call after this workshop. You can book it in now. Get that booked in, right? If you want that help. As you said, a lot of you guys said, if you need help, you can grow faster. But we'll chuck it to Q&A now because I want to jam out for a good 5 to 10 minutes here with Q&A questions. And I know there's going to be a ton here, right? I want to jam out with you guys. I appreciate you guys staying on. I know we're a little bit over time. We're at 90 minutes now, but I want to go for a couple more minutes to answer any Q&A questions you do have. So a question from Sean is, my biggest question is, how do you prove return on investment to clients? They don't share their data and metrics with me, so I can't use it for case studies. I would love some data for my offer and documents I send leads. A really good question, dude. And if you want to unmute yourself, dude, we can jam out on this right now. Would love to know what type of clients you're working with.
I have trouble defining who my ideal client is, but it's a lot of different clients who sell things, be like homeware goods, clothing, services, agriculture equipment. So it's people who sell stuff basically, which doesn't sound sexy. So I need to narrow that down a bit. But yeah, that's my question. How do you prove the work that you can do? Because everyone keeps their cards close to their chest.
Okay. So again, if you pick the right market, it can really help. Not saying you haven't picked the right market, but if you have control of their, say, socials or where they're posting the content, and you have that conversation at the start, it's like, hey, we want you to be a case study, so I need you to share these numbers so we can know what's working, what's not, so then we can improve. And you have that conversation at the start, you'll get better results. I had a client a few years ago. She was a business coach. She's actually my first production client that I had. We started posting videos for her and we had her on a retainer around 2.5K per month. This is like 2016, 2017. So a few years back. And I was still learning all this marketing and stuff that I know today. Didn't have big results at the time, and I was just figuring everything out. The videos weren't getting her results, and I was pissed off. And there was a point where she came to me and she hadn't been posting the videos, and I was like, "Why aren't you posting the videos? What's stopping you?" I don't know, which one's the right one to post and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, so it got to a point where I was like, okay, to my business partner at the time, this isn't going to work as a business model if we don't know what's working, what's not from the metrics. But also, if we're not helping her get better results, she ain't going to stay. So I said to her, I had a meeting, I said, hey, let me take over your social media accounts. Let me manage it. I then got access to her accounts. I could then see the data. And one of the key things that I saw in the data was there was a particular type of content that we were creating for her that was working the best. And she was a business coach. She's based here in Australia. She was a business coach for trades businesses. And the cool thing about when I figured out what was working is we could then start creating the content for that specific market, which then led to better results. And what we end up doing is I said, hey, Kate, your market are tradies, she's trades businesses, a business coach for them. Your market loves humor. They love funny videos. So why don't we do a skit? And then we did market research because we knew her market really well. And this is because I was more embedded into her brand. She went up to a bigger retainer because of this, by the way. So she spent more money with this. Figured out that her market loves skits. We created 4 skits. One was called Shit Tradies Never Say, and one was called Shit Tradie Wives Never Say. I thought the Shit Tradie one was going to work the best. We posted it. Within a week, it got 270,000 views and added a couple thousand followers to a page. Now, followers and likes and shit. It's just vanity metrics, by the way. Your client loves that. She was over the moon. However, her inbox was full of people wanting to work with her because they were trades businesses. They came back to her page going, oh, like I really love that funny video, but then you have all this business advice. I'm actually struggling with all those things you said in those other videos. I need some help. Now, story doesn't end there. The second video, which the shit tradies wife we posted 2 weeks later, and I thought this was going to tank. And I was like, man, let's post it. Let's see what happens, what results we're going to get. I don't think it's going to happen. Within literally 24 hours, we had 500,000 views on the video. Within about 3 weeks, we had 2.6 million views on the video. And this is back in Facebook land when Facebook was cool. TikTok, it would be like 10 million views today. Now, the views is not the thing that really mattered. It was the outcome of what happened. Her inbox was so flooded because it was shit tradie wives. That's who she really related to, was the wife in the business of the trades business. Because the skit was talking about all the problems that tradies have. So very specific message, but it's a very top of funnel video. So brought in over 10,000 followers to her page. This is on Facebook. Added an extra 350K in revenue to her business directly from the videos within a good 6 to 12 month period. She couldn't bring on as many clients because she also had a qualification process. She was overwhelmed. She had to bring in some team members, and still today, she's got a multi 7-figure coaching business, and it's off the backbone of a lot of that content. Still a good friend of mine, right? Now, in terms of your question, I had to have that conversation early on with her to figure out what was working with what not, because I was like, man, I'm not happy with the results that we're getting you, because if I felt bad just creating content. I wanted results. And I was studying a lot of marketing and a lot of this kind of strategy. We also teach our clients how to do this in our programs, which is actually how to get better results. Because if you want a client to stay on a retainer, like she stayed with us for 2 years and spent close to $60,000 with us, right? That's the power of when you figured out. So if you have clients who aren't giving you data, see if you can have that conversation and list it as a benefit to say, hey, if you let us like see the numbers and actually have a look at this, we're able to get you better results. And if they say no to you, maybe they're not the best fit for that, and go find, not saying ditch them, but go find someone else that you can help get better results for. Don't wait around for them to give you the data. Like you've got to like actively go out and get the data. Same with like even client testimonials I shared today. My clients, I teach them, like I say at the start when they come aboard, and if you guys want to work with us, I want you to be one of our case studies so I can showcase your results, because it's going to impact other people's lives. And our clients love sharing their numbers. Not everyone does, but most of them will, and they'll share the results with us. We also get to see, because we manage and help a lot of our clients with ads, I also get to see what's working in their ad accounts, because that's part of our programs. We'll jump in and see what's working, what's not. So that is part of like your offer. Is if you have that conversation early on with the client, they will be more open to sharing the data. Does that kind of answer your question, man?
Yeah, for sure. I guess my job is to figure out what marketing data people are looking for, rather than just, because obviously you can boost posts and things like it kind of inflates what it actually is. But yeah, that's really good information. In most
cases, depending on the business, return on investments, they spend $1, they want to make $2 back. And most of the time they do, but they don't know how. They base it on a feeling. Is I don't feel like this is working, or as I don't know, because that you haven't track the metric. So something you should also have an early conversation is go, what is the measurement of success for you when they sign up? Like, how do we know when you've got a return on investment? Because they may go, they might say, oh, when I get 10 likes on the video, and you're, oh, great, well, that's easy, but that's a shit metric to work towards. Let's work towards a revenue goal. What do you want to aim for? And just like I was talking about earlier on in the presentation around the future-based promise, if you know where they're going or where you want to take them, you sell them on that and you work towards a goal. Like clients who come work with us, like we have a couple of different levels of how you can work with us. We have a clear goal. Most guys want to get to 50K per month. And that's people who join our masterminds or come to our in-person events. They want to get to $50,000 per month in their video agency. I know that. And it takes a good 6 to 12 months to really build up. A lot of our guys get there in 12 months. Some guys get there shorter, but I know that's a future-based promise, and there's a bit of work we're going to put in place to get there. So you've got to figure out what is that future dream outcome for your customer, or where you're taking them. And if you're working with multiple niches, this is usually the problem why I talked about niche mastery. All of them say different things, and you're like, oh, which one am I working towards? Which then leaves you confused. So sit down with the client, figure out what is that end outcome. And if they don't know, which some clients don't, by the way, go and look at their competitors and go what they're working towards. That will really help you, and that Also, that conversation around data and return on investment then becomes a lot easier with new clients because you have that part of your onboarding process. You go, hey, so what are the key metrics that we need to work towards that makes sense for you for this to be a win, right? I'll jump in the chat. We've got a few other questions. Jonathan, what industries are the best niches to niche into? Real estate industry, real estate, not my jam. Cool. So there's a few markets that I'd recommend. The first one I would look at is think about who you don't want to work with and don't work with them. But because there's a few markets you can work with. So real estate, when I look at real estate, I don't like real estate, but real estate and that kind of property industry is a big market that you can look at for retainers. So when I look at real estate, I actually think of real estate in two ways. This is one of the first markets that I'd look at. I don't like them, but we have clients who work with them. That's why I wouldn't say I wouldn't work with them, but I don't like them personally. There's two parts of them. There's the real estate videos where you create the house videos and walkthroughs. That's not the retainer model I look at. That's not a retainer. That's just creating videos for the house, and you can charge a certain amount and you always compete on price. The real estate agent's always going to bar you. However, on the flip side, the personal branding for the agency and the agent is where the retainer model sits, in my opinion, where you can have a consistent flow because they need to get more listings. The problems that they have is they're in a sea of 150 million other real estate agents in their local area. What makes them different? Let's be honest, all real estate agents sell homes, right? What makes them different? Their story, their opinions on the market, their expertise, the way they speak in front of camera. I saw a real estate agent recently on TikTok or Instagram pop up. I don't know if you guys in Australia have seen the guy with the orange hair. He's like something from kombucha. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the guy. I'm just seeing this in my newsfeed, but there's a real estate agent who's posting short form content and he's gone viral on Instagram and he's just posting videos. He's doing it himself, but he's standing out. And I'm like, man, this is really funny because he's posting content. So that's one market is real estate. I look at the personal branding for the agent and the agency. We've got the construction and property industry. So a lot of our clients look at the construction industry. It's a huge industry. You got renovation companies, trades businesses, building companies, new home builders, property developments. These are big ticket clients as well. We also used to work with our renovation companies. I took a renovation company from $1.5 million in revenue to $8 million in revenue just by installing the right videos into his marketing funnel. He spent close to $70K in retainer work with us because we were just creating the video assets. I did none of his marketing. I actually didn't even post his content. He had a team that did it for him, which was really easy. We just created the videos. And there's a market that was really simple. So the construction, renovation, that kind of industry is another one. The third one that I look at is the coaching, speaker, expert industry. Myself as a coach and mentor for videographers, again, I have the content in the video I can create myself, but I have a team. I'm freaking time poor, right? I'm a busy guy. I've got to run these workshops. I love doing this stuff, but I've also got to provide for my clients. I've got to show up and coach. I can't be spending all day creating freaking videos every single day. I do the filming, which I'm grateful I have the skills to do it. I don't edit my videos. My team does. So there's an opportunity for coaches, that market, great market, expert speakers, authors, thought leaders. A lot of them also need to build a personal brand online. So that's the problem you solve, is help them build a personal brand online. The fourth market that I look at is like the service-based industry as a whole. Some of my clients, they don't want to niche down too specific into like real estate or like coaches, and they go service-based businesses. A service-based business is someone who provides a service who needs to showcase that service. So like product reveal videos, obviously showcasing the service. So we can look at real estate kind of fits under that bracket, but professional services like accounting firms, law firms, all these businesses need to start building some sort of brand. And like right now is the perfect time for a lot of them to do it. So there are a few of the markets I'd recommend. We can go deeper into that kind of stuff. Again, this is one of the first things we work with our clients to get really clear on, because before you create a retainer offer, if you don't get it right, you can have the wrong offer for the wrong market. So hopefully that kind of answers your question there, Jonathan. Just jumping into some other questions. Aaron is, how do you stop from turning into social media manager for them? It's a really good question. So you've got to look at it for this way. You're not going to manage everything on the social. You're going to manage the video assets that you create. You're not doing the posting of everything else for them. And that's where you'll be very clear. I had one client who hesitated from signing retainer clients because his clients were coming to him and they were construction. And he's, dude, I'm doing the videos, but they're not posting them. And they've got an in-house social media manager that's doing nothing with them. I said, dude, what do you want to help the client? Like get results or not? He's like, yeah, but I don't want to be their social media manager. And the reason he had this hesitation, he was like, man, I used to work with cafes and I used to do all their posting. And cafes are a terrible market. I would not recommend them as a retainer. If you're a beginner videographer, maybe, but if you want to scale, don't. That's my opinion, and I'll be very firm on that. But the problem that he had was like he didn't want to manage everything. So I said to him, dude, just manage the video assets that you create and post them, and hire someone else internally, pay them $500 a month to do it. Really think of outsourcing this stuff. You don't have to do all this stuff yourself, right? And it's a couple of hours of pre-scheduling content over, like you can pre-schedule 2 or 3 months worth of content within a couple of hours for a client. It's, it's not that hard. Dilly's got, do you charge every client the same amount on these packages? Because a mum and pop coffee shop won't pay you $7K a month, but a Starbucks could. Really good question, dude. That's why you need to get clear on the who, because I wouldn't recommend a mum and pop coffee shop. And if you want to work with mum and pop coffee shops, yeah, maybe it's not going to be a 7K retainer. This is why like not every market's going to pay you 7K per month. And this is where you've got to pick the right market. So the market is one of the things that people struggle with a lot. And I can give you all the recommendations. At the end of the day, you've got to pick one. But if you try to work with all of them, your retainer is not going to work with all of them, right? You'll have to have 3 or 4 different retainers, which opens up a whole nother can of worms. Is you can't scale with 3 different offers that you're trying to promote, or 3 different markets. It is not sustainable. And if you try to challenge me on that, I can tell you right now, I've seen clients who've tried to do it and it doesn't work. You've got to pick one if you want to scale, and you've got to focus on that. In the future, once you've dialed in that core process, you can then add more like offers to your business, but pick one. And I personally wouldn't pick mom and pop coffee shops, because it's just like barbershops. People look at barbershops, they're the same. They're a service-based business, but they're also going to be very cheap. Got some good questions. We'll give it one more question. I'll answer this and we'll finish up. Andrew's question is, if you sell the client on the really great testimonial campaign, couldn't you do a retainer for 6 testimonials, so 1 per month over the next 6 months? That's technically a 6-month retainer. Yeah, Andrew, you're not wrong, dude. I'm talking more about retainers that provide a long future-based result. You're talking about a retainer of just delaying the time it takes to create the project, which is just a different way of looking at it. I'm talking more about, let's work on a retainer that provides a result for a client in 6 to 12 months, which is they build their brand and they start to see great returns. If it's a retainer of just doing 1 video per month, there's nothing wrong with that. However, like I don't expect you to see massive results out the gate for that. Not saying it's not a thing that could work. You could 100% do that. I like the retainers where you're consistently managing something. So it could be, say, for a law firm, right? Building their SEO, which is their YouTube channel. It could be for a coach like myself, helping me build a YouTube channel and managing the content and building a brand around that, which is creating multiple revenue streams for YouTube, but also building my brand. Lots of questions. We'll finish up the last 2 questions and then we'll finish up today, guys. Otherwise, we'll keep going for hours here. By the way, guys, if you haven't booked in a call and you're still wanting to book in a call, German, just drop the link again for some people still thinking about booking a call with us. Dilly's got a question, just an example. Just an example. Yeah. Jonathan, quick question. Do you recommend getting into the e-commerce space and working with those brands? I've had 3 clients who've worked with the e-commerce space. I personally, I have my personal opinions, but I'll never stop a client from working it. E-commerce they need a lot of content. They're perfect for a retainer. However, there's a point where you'll get to where you just can't, it's not as creative as you'd probably like, where there's only certain different angles you can do of this, like a shoe. Unless you've got fresh new shoes coming out, just using it as an example. So there's pros and cons to every market. E-commerce is a great market they need consistent content. If we're talking about having a problem, they need consistent content. They need fresh ads. They need consistent content. The retainer that you might be making for them though, might be making them new ad creative monthly, new ad creative and some social content. So it might be a mixture of ads. You probably won't be doing the ads, and I personally wouldn't recommend doing the ads like for an e-commerce business. I personally have never run an e-commerce business. Can get a bit tricky, but a lot of agencies who run ads like for e-commerce brands will look at you as a creative agency to go, great, I need you guys to create fresh assets for my clients each month. Can you do that? And that could be a good partnership where you look at an ad agency and go, hey, let's partner up together. You do the ads, I do the creative, and that might be a good e-commerce space. In saying that, you also got to get clear on the types of e-commerce businesses or niches within the e-commerce space, because e-commerce is quite broad. There's a lot of startup e-commerce businesses who don't have money to invest into video, and that's where they don't actually need you. And one thing that also sucks for a lot of us creatives when we think about it, the e-commerce space, the highest converting ads for e-commerce businesses aren't the fancy looking videos. I've done a lot of research on the highest converting ads. The highest converting ads for e-commerce businesses are UCG content, which is them getting people using their products and making them on their phone, which then leaves you as a creator going, I got this freaking $12,000 camera and they're paying for like people to use their iPhone to make a video. right? So that's a con of the e-commerce market. It's not the same in professional services. Like professional services, what they actually want to look good and they don't want UCG content. So when I look at a market, those are some things I look at. German said UGC content, user generated content, that's what it equals. But guys, we're going to finish up there because we have been jamming out for quite a while now. And I appreciate you guys jumping on. 33 of you guys still on here right now. If you haven't booked in a call just yet, you can. There should be a link in the chat. We will be sending out an email tomorrow for any of you guys who've missed today and you want to chat with us this week. Again, if today's workshop is all you're here for and you've gotten value from this, I would love to know. Send me a message on Instagram. We want to continue the conversation. If you have any other questions after this workshop, just send me a message on Instagram if you haven't followed me. German, if you could drop my Instagram in the chat. Send me a follow on Instagram if you haven't followed me yet. Any questions you have around retainers, offers, or anything like that stuff, just send me a message. We can jam out and see if or not retainers is the model. Because some of you guys it's not, right? Some of you guys just want to sell the bigger things and different stuff, and that's totally cool. But go there. There's a link in the chat right now that you can follow me on Instagram. Send me a message if you have any other questions after this. Happy to answer any questions you have. And if you've booked in a call with the team today, would love to see how that goes with you. If you are a right fit for what we do, if we can help you. And if we can't, hopefully we can leave you in a better position of where you are now with a bit of a plan from today on what to do next. But that's it for today, guys. I'm going to finish up there. Appreciate you guys playing full out and look forward to hearing from you guys very soon. All right, see you guys.